Hi everybody, it's George from the Dinosaur George Company answering all of your questions that you send to me. Let's see, this first one is from Martin from Chicago, Illinois. He says, "Hi Dinosaur George, in your opinion, which family does Acrocanthosaurus belong to? The Allosauridae or the Carcharodontosaurusridae?" Well, here's the deal. Acrocanthosaurus is very similar to both Carcharodontosaurus and Allosaurus. I don't know which family they should go in. Most of the people that I know say that Acrocanthosaurus belongs with the Carcharodontosaurids. Myself, I think he's much more Allosaurus-like, but they didn't ask me and didn't let me vote. So I believe that most of the paleontologists put him into the Carcharodontosaurus family rather than the Allosaurus family. Okay, my friend Ryan from New Lenox, Illinois. If dinosaurs other than birds were still around today, would they make good pets? Ryan, that's kind of a cool question. Some of them, yeah, I think some of them would be great. Little dinosaurs like Lesothosaurus or Hypsilophodon or Psittacosaurus. Maybe even dinosaurs like Protoceratops. I think those guys would be cool because they stay relatively small. When you start to get into some of the little meat eaters like Eoraptor or Microvenator or some of those little guys, I guess it would sort of be like keeping a pit bull around. You wouldn't know from day to day what its mood or temperament could be. As long as you kept it fed, it would probably be okay. Certainly when you start to get to some of those bigger guys, I don't know, maybe a herd of Triceratops would be like having a herd of cows. Maybe they would be cool to have. You probably couldn't walk in among them. A herd of duck-billed dinosaurs would be neat if you were a farmer or a rancher and you had fences strong enough to repel them. That might be kind of a cool thing to have. But when you get into the big predators, no way, baby. All right, Zach from Mesa, Arizona. Zach, haven't talked to you in a while. It's nice to hear from you. He says, "Hi, Dinosaur George. Zach here. I know you're busy, and I try to make my questions short." And I appreciate that very much, Zach. You guys, just a little hint. Sometimes I get these emails where the questions go on and on and on and on. I don't even have the time to read them most of the time. So what Zach is referring to is he's saying, I know how busy you are, so keep it short. So I appreciate that, Zach. But I don't want you guys to make the questions microscopically short. In other words, don't be so concerned about that. Okay, I'm having a tough time deciding what kind of paleontologist I want to be. What type of work does a vertebrate paleontologist do? Thanks, your friend Zach. Well, Zach, yes, I do consider you a friend. Excuse me. There's a variety of different job opportunities within the field of vertebrate paleontology. It just depends on what your focus wants to be and, most importantly, what jobs are available out there. See, a vertebrate paleontologist, you can have those that spend all their time out in the field actually excavating and mapping and doing the on-the-ground work. Then you have vertebrate paleontologists who spend their time in the classroom. You could become a teacher and teach vertebrate paleontology. There's opportunities for things like casting, getting the bones, making molds of them, and being able to reproduce those so that you can share your discovery with museums and the public throughout the world. There's things like prep, that is to actually clean up the bones using a variety of different tools. So there's a lot of things to do. I would recommend, Zach, that you start to give some thought to what's important to you. Do you like being out in the field? Sometimes that can be a rough job, man. It's not like they show on Jurassic Park where, somebody's living in a nice little trailer. It's not the case. A lot of times you're sleeping in a tent, you're sleeping on the ground, you're sleeping in your Jeep. It's sort of like being homeless, only you don't have to hold up the little cardboard signs. That's basically what digging is like. But there's so many different opportunities. There's so many different opportunities out there, Zach. You just continue to study and find out what's available and what maybe the job options are and start focusing your attention that way. Finally, Craig from Reno, Nevada. He said, "I've seen a recent show that said Parasaurolophus had a few methods of defending itself. The big one was that in a large group, they could all face the same direction and make a huge amount of sound to drive away a predator. The other was that it could hear and determine approaching dinosaurs miles away and could simply avoid them. Do you think either of these could be true?" Craig, I saw the show you're talking about. It was on Discovery Channel. I wasn't that thrilled with the show, but it had some cool animation, some good stuff. Here's what I will tell you first of all. Their sense of smell was probably pretty good. Looking at the configuration of the skull, I think all duck-billed dinosaurs use sense of smell as an early detection system to keep them out of harm's way. Duckbills don't have spikes, they don't have clubs, they don't have sharp teeth, they don't have sharp claws. They truly have one defense, and that is to flee an oncoming predator and hope you can outrun them in a race. So surely, in my opinion, I think Parasaurolophus would have been able to process the smells around it and hopefully give it enough advance notice of an oncoming attacker. As for the sound part, sound is very important in the animal kingdom. Certainly, if you're a predator and you come rushing in and expect everybody to turn and run, if they turn and face you and all roar at the top of their lungs, that could very well offset the hunting method of a predator. Excuse me. Remember, predatory dinosaurs are not incredibly sophisticated, not to the point, say, like a modern wolf or something like that. So it wouldn't take a lot to throw them off their game. And perhaps a blast of sound coming from a group could be enough to at least disrupt them enough to allow the Parasaurolophus to leave. Now, could that sound be used as a weapon? I don't think so, not in the least. Sound is not necessarily used as a weapon. It's only used as a weapon in the ocean. Whales use it, dolphins use it. Sound, and the reason why is sound travels farther and faster underwater. And so they could use a blast of sound, and we see that all the time. They use an actual blast of sound to be able to protect themselves, and in some cases debilitate and kill prey. But it only works in the water. It doesn't work above, out on land. The reason why is the sound waves travel too wide and broad, and they would simply go around the animal. But sound is important in the animal kingdom. Especially think of things like bees and wasps. You ever heard that buzzing noise they make? That noise alone is enough to alert you to stay away. If you approach a rattlesnake, it's got one of the greatest sound mechanisms in the world, and that's that rattling tail. Pieces of dead skin that continue to build up on the tail, and the bigger you get, the louder your rattle is, and the more warning you give. There's a lot of animals that will alert you that they are upset. Dogs barking, growling, cats hissing. All those things are very effective ways to communicate one's demeanor. And so, in my opinion, certainly animals would have used sound. And Parasaurolophus, man, you look at that head. That head is an incredible thing. It is a resonation chamber. That head is designed to produce a lot of sound. But whether or not it could stop a predator, that's debatable. Certainly, I think it could take it off its game long enough to give them an opportunity to escape. Okay, listen, that's it for this round. I apologize to you again. So many of you have been writing me, and I just cannot get to these fast enough. I was off literally for 3 months working on another big project. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask, go to my website, dinosaurgeorge.com. Click on the Ask Dinosaur George page, fill out the form, and send it to me. Something else while you're there, join our mailing list and receive our free monthly newsletter. And if you have access to it, become a fan on Facebook and on Twitter. I always send out information about stuff I'm doing. So anyway, listen, all of you have a great day. Have a good holiday coming up. For you young people, make sure and practice your reading skills, and absolutely make sure to use good manners. Those two things are probably more important than most anything else you can do. Everybody take care of yourself. Take care of the people around you. You guys remember, we're all in this together, and life is much better when we are taking care of each other rather than fighting with each other. All right, you guys, I'll see you all soon. Take care.